What is the fastest way to destroy a company? Most people think it's the bad strategy, a failed product launch, or a massive PR scandal. And while those are damaging, companies recover from mistake all the time. But there is one thing that is almost impossible to recover from. It is a subtle, it is quiet, and it is the single greatest sin a modern CEO or a leader can commit. It's the sin of inaction, the refusal to engage. When faced with massive disruption, for example, AI shifting the markets, new competitors, many leaders don't make the wrong, always make the wrong move. They make no move at all. They freeze. They hope the storm will pass away. Today, we are going to look at why this paralysis is fatal to your leadership, career, and your company as well. And to do it, we weren't looking at the Harvard Business Review case study. We are looking at 7,000-year-old strategy manual known as Bhagavad Gita. We are going to explore chapter 2, verse 33 and discover why the ancient wisdom says that refusing to fight your battle is the quickest way to lose everything you have ever built. To understand this, we need context. The Gita is set on a battlefield. Arjun, the greatest warrior of his time, is about to lead his army into a massive civil war. But right before the conch shell blow to signal the start, Arjun freezes. He looks across the field and sees the family, teachers, and friends on the other side. He is overwhelmed by the complexity, the emotion, and the potential consequence of his actions. He dropped his bow. He tells his charioteer, Bhagwan Krishna, I will not fight. He wanted to retreat to the forest and do nothing. He went to opt out. He asked and wanted to opt out of the crisis. Thus, this sounds familiar. How many boardroom today are filled with leaders looking at the market and saying, this is too complex. The risks are too high. Let us just wait and see. Bhagwan Krishna, acting as the ultimate executive coach, delivers a harsh wake-up call to Arjun. He tells him that a warrior fighting for righteousness is his duty. He cannot opt out. And then in verse 33 of chapter 2, Bhagwan Krishna delivers this warning. If you still refuse to fight this dharmic battle, you are sinning but by not performing your duties. You will lose your reputation as well. Let's break down this particular phrase. Two major consequences for inaction. You fail your duty, which in Gita it is known as, or Gita calls it as sin, and you lose your reputation. Let's apply this to C-suite. First, what is your dharmic battle today? For Arjun, it was the physical war using the arrows and the chariots. For modern CEO, the battlefield is the marketplace. The enemy isn't a person. The enemies are obsolescence, stagnation, inefficiency, and irrelevance. Your dharmic battle is the necessity to innovate when it's expensive. It is a need to pivot the company with the old model, where the old model is still profitable but dying. It's a need to have difficult conversations with underperforming executives. Why do CEOs like Arjun refuse to fight their battles? The biggest reason is fear. Fear of making the wrong bet. Fear of upsetting the shareholders in the short term. Fear of admitting that what worked yesterday won't work tomorrow. It feels safer to do nothing, to keep the ship sailing straight even if there is an iceberg ahead. Because turning the wheel requires massive effort and risk. But Gita teaches us that in the leadership there is no neutral ground. Inaction is an action, and usually it's the worst one. By refusing to engage with reality, you aren't preserving peace, you are guaranteeing a defeat. Now let's look at the consequence Bhagwan Krishna warns us about. The first is, you are sinning by not performing your duty. The Sanskrit word is dharma. It is often translated as duty or the righteousness, but it means something deeper. It means your essential nature, your purpose in a specific context. The dharma of fire is to burn. The dharma of warrior is to fight for justice. What is the dharma of CEO? It is the steward of the organization future. Your duty is not just to manage the present, it is to secure the future. And this is where the crucial element of learning comes in. You cannot fight a modern battle with outdated weapons. In business, your weapons are your knowledge, your insights, and your strategy. If you, as a leader, are not constantly learning about AI, about shifting demographics, about new economic realities, you are showing up to the battlefield as unarmed. When a CEO stops learning, they stop leading. They are just occupying a chair. Bhagavad Gita calls this as a sin. In a secular business context, this is a violation of your duty. You are ethically obligated to make the hard choices required to keep the organization alive. When you see a necessary change but refuse to execute it because it's uncomfortable, you are betraying your employees, your customers, and your investors. You are failing in your dharma. But if the moral argument doesn't move you, Bhagwan Krishna gives you a very practical one in the second half of the verse. You will lose your reputation too. In the ancient world, for a warrior like Arjun, reputation, which is in Sanskrit known as kirti, was everything. It was better to die in battle than to live as a coward who ran away. In the modern business world, reputation is still everything. It is your currency. It's about the trust people place in your ability to navigate the storms. Here is the hard truth about inaction. The market forgives bold failures for far more easily than it forgives cowardly inaction. Think about it. If the CEO makes a bold strategic bet and it fails, they might get fired. But they will be remembered as someone who tried to change the game. They keep their reputation as a leader. But what about CEO who saw the disruption coming, saw digital photography, saw streaming videos, saw e-commerce and did nothing about it? They didn't want to rock the boat. They weren't just fired. They are dismissed as incompetent. They are remembered as the person who fell asleep at the wheel. Inaction signals to the market that you lack the courage of your conviction. It signals that you are overwhelmed. Once you lose the reputation for being decisive, you cannot lead. Your top talent will leave for competitors who are willing to fight the battle. Investors will pull their capital. Your reputation dies not because you made a mistake, but because you refuse to make a choice. The message of Gita to the modern CEO is very clear. Volatility of the world is not an excuse to freeze. It is the very reason you are put in charge. If you are in a leadership position, you are currently on a battlefield, there are decisions you know you need to make, but you have been delaying them. There are things you need to learn, but you have been too busy. Bhagwan Krishna's advice to Arjun is his advice to you as well. Stop trembling. Stand up. Do your duty. Don't let the fear of outcome paralyze you into the greater sin of inaction. Protect your organization by fulfilling your duty to evolve. Protect your reputation by having the courage to act. The battle is already here. The only question is, will you fight it or will you let it roll over you? Pick up your bow and it's time to lead. Friends, do let me know what you think and I will catch you again in the next one.